Here we are. Are we live? Yep. We're live. I'm in the same uniform as I was yesterday. Why? Because the grind hasn't stopped. We've had a crazy experience here in Mobile, Alabama. We literally have one more hour to spare, or really like 35 more minutes to spare, and then we're off to Florida. But this morning, old Jasper went to go get his coffee because he's an addict, and he ran into another coffee addict. This is Mr. Daniel. What is your last name, Daniel? Daniel Day. Today is the day the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. So we got Daniel today jumping out of our scheduled time to be on time with something super special. So a lot of people create cool things today in the world, but not a lot of art has story behind it. So today, I want to know who Daniel is and your art and just what you do, who you are. So give us a little bit about who you are, your name, where you're from, and let's hear it, man.
Well, guess we can go back a few years.
Okay.
All in all, started back, always been an artist since I was able to hold a pencil, really.
Oh, you like pencils. You're a pencil guy. Do you like mechanical pencils or regular pencils?
I originally started with your old-fashioned graphite pencils.
Okay. See, I have a weird OCD. I'm like, I cannot write with graphite pencils unless it's super sharp. Because when it gets dull, it just gives me the chills. And I like the number two. I guess I like my number two mechanical pencils because it feels good for me. But okay, so you started out with pencil drawing. What did you start out drawing?
Well, had a little thing for drawing eyes, also drawing monsters. It's kind of funny.
Monsters.
Monsters, yeah.
How did you create the monsters in your mind?
I always had a little bit of a thing for Halloween. And when it came to dressing up for Halloween, well, monsters were always the most fun.
Yeah. I always wanted, I always thought Halloween was so fun for me because it was the only time of the year that my mom was like, okay, you just go out with your twin brother. You know, back in the day, you could walk around, you're not going to get kidnapped and things like that. And so, you know, we're over here going and getting candy from everybody in the neighborhood, but it was just like a freedom, you know, to be able to do that and you're dressing up and your fun stuff. My mom wouldn't ever let me dress up in monster stuff, but it was the coolest. We'd always try to go find the house that the guy was, you know, sitting in the chair that's going to hit you, you know, or whatever, you know. So, okay, so monsters. What was your favorite monster costume you ever made?
Most favorite monster costume I ever made was probably the Grim Reaper.
The
Used
Grim
that
Reaper
a
is
number
coming to
of
get you.
times. But oh yeah, drawing monsters, I can't say there were any two ever the same.
Okay.
I often got made fun of because I wasn't drawing your already created comic book characters.
Oh, okay.
A little bit of my own little creations.
When you were creating your monsters, is it everything on paper? Were you wanting to sell them? Were you keeping them? Do you still have them?
I
You still
do
have a
not
book of the monsters? Okay. Do you still draw monsters?
No, I do not draw monsters anymore.
Okay.
See, I'm more so into painting,
Mm.
architecture,
Okay.
going my own direction with that.
So how did you switch from pencil monsters to what you're doing now?
I guess you could say just going through the years, one teacher after another, things just slowly changed.
Okay.
I learned a bit more going on from middle school into high school. And learned many different practices in the art world.
Okay. What do you think has been the hardest practice for you to learn?
That was certainly around the computer technology. When it came to going to college, there were a lot of computers involved in the art world.
Where'd you go to college?
That was Faulkner State, but was unable to finish that
Okay.
due
So you
to medical reasons. but
Okay.
to finish.
We all go through our own life situations, and sometimes it's tough, but that's what makes us who we are. You know, we all overcome these certain situations that are given to us, and sometimes we get down on ourselves, but we're the people called, or I say man or woman, we are called to be exactly where we are,
Right.
exactly at that time, exactly so we can give our faith to the Creator so that we can overcome whatever it is that we're supposed to be overcoming. I always say, like, with $1 million cash, we couldn't buy another breath of life. Most of my best friends have passed away, and it's so interesting. It's like, wow. I mean, even the richest man in the world couldn't pay $1 billion cash for one more breath. You know, because when God wants to take that, it's done. You're done. We're done. I read. You know what? Where's my phone? I read this thing today. This is perfect. I'm pulling out the cell phone. I don't know if that's proper etiquette, but this is raw. One take only, right? So here we go. This is what I read today. You can buy a house, but not a home. With money, you can buy a clock, but you can't buy time. With money, you can buy a bed, but not sleep. With money, you can buy food. Oh, that's the Mercedes shop. But not an appetite. With money, you can buy a doctor, but not good health. With money, you can have insurance, but not safety. So the problem that we all have is that there are things that we cannot buy with material wealth, with money. So God gives us those things, you know, and we try to put our faith into ourselves to think that we can create it, when at the end of the day, it's a false sense of hope that we give ourselves. Like tonight, we think I think here in 5-10 minutes, I'm going to go get my van, but I don't even know if I'm going to walk out of here. So right now is a major blessing, because I couldn't have paid $1 million just to sit here right now with you.
Right.
This is awesome. So keep going, man. Keep going, man.
Wonderful lesson in there. That takes right back to those computer courses. Really, where I am today as a artist, to look back at those computers, it's a good thing that I went through those issues and survived to live on. Because me sitting behind a computer making somebody else's picture the way that they want it,
Yeah.
I would have gone nuts and probably shot myself by now.
You're like, this guy's crazy. I know you got all this AI and stuff doing everything for everyone else, and everyone's getting brainwashed, which even kind of takes us back to yesterday. Brainwash. Stop the brainwash. Oh, man, let's go.
Give me a canvas.
Give you a canvas. Do you like working? What are your favorite mediums to work with? I guess you started out with your pencil. You grew. You went through the computer stuff, the digital. And then what made you just say, yeah, I'm done with that, and I want to start doing my own thing?
Well, that goes back to leaving college, being unhappy for a few years. I was known as the Ant-Man for quite a while.
You got the Mr. Day, a.k.a. the Ant-Man. Let's go, which is weird, really weird as well. Because yesterday's talk, we talked about the ants and how ants can carry the extra weight that they didn't think that they could carry. So here we go. This is giving me the chills. Okay, here we go.
Sitting
the
on the
Ant-Man.
front porch step there. Yeah. I was just sitting in my misery, just being unhappy with life. Just watching that line of ants marching along being ants. When I came to realize, if an ant can march along being an ant, why can't a Daniel just march along being a Daniel?
Did you guys hear that? You have to re-say that, because that is so powerful. Oh my gosh, you saw the ants in the line marching being ants. And you realize, man, if ants can be ants, Daniel can be Daniel.
Exactly.
If you're watching this, you are one of one. There's nobody like you that ever was, ever will be. You have to be you. And you can be you. Oh, gosh, keep going, keep going.
From there, I began painting pictures of ants.
Okay.
I painted around 52 pictures of ants, and all but 3 of those sold.
Where are the 3?
The 3 I have
I want to
in
buy
my
one.
studio, in my bedroom at my house.
How much are your ants selling for? 49 of them are gone. There's only 3 left.
We will certainly have to find them and see how big they are. I've got 3 different pictures, but
Okay.
We can very
And we'll
well
get
see.
to that here in a little bit of how you can find him, how you can buy his art, how you can contact him. But let's keep going with the story.
Well, through time, of course, painting so many ants, I just had to get into something different.
Okay.
And I've always had a little bit of a thing for architecture.
When you were drawing your ants, was it pencil or did you start using
Certainly
colors?
acrylic.
Acrylic. Okay. Okay.
And another little story there with those. It was also those ants that brought me to be a professional artist. Painting that first picture of that ant, I wasn't really thinking about selling anything.
You were just
But
doing it because
I
it was
was
what you
just-
love.
It was just a little bit of inspiration to paint a picture of an ant. That canvas had a hole in it, but I didn't really care at the time. I was just painting a picture of an ant because those ants inspired me. A friend of my mom's happened to walk through, see that picture, and she said, "If that canvas didn't have a hole in it, I would buy that from you." I looked at her,
You're
just
like,
in
"Wait."
all astonishment. What?
You said, I actually put that hole in there. It's part of it.
Oh, we fixed that canvas. We finished that painting. And she bought that painting.
Okay.
I was
And that was your first
inspired.
sale?
That was my first sale. I
Oh,
was inspired to paint more ants.
okay.
And not long after that, I was inspired to join a gallery.
How did you find your gallery? Did it
Well-
just show up or did you go out searching for it?
My mom is an artist
Okay.
and an art teacher.
Okay.
She has many artist friends.
Does she ever critique your work? It's like,
Oh,
Daniel,
never
you
said
gotta do this.
never fails. She sees my work. She has a thought on my work.
Okay.
And being that, when she's painting something, she wants my
Nah,
critique on hers.
Mom, you were so hard on me yesterday. I'm gonna be extra hard on you today.
Oh, she's not hard. She's very gentle, but
Truthfully gentle.
to the point.
Yes, let's go. That's like my Mimo. She's so truthful that sometimes if you're a selfish-hearted person, you might take it wrong, but she says it everything out of love. Like, I mean, she
Exactly.
loves you so much, she's gonna be like, this is what I think right now, and this is just my opinion, you know, and it's great. So, oh man, so your mom's an art teacher. You've grown up in a world full of art. You get fully inspired, not just how you grew up, but when you chose to get inspired, when you finally saw it and accepted Daniel for Daniel. Man, so you sell your first piece, you get inspired to start creating more, and then what happens?
Well, met a lady there at that particular gallery.
Okay,
That was Cathedral Square Gallery, by the way.
where was that?
That is downtown Mobile.
Born and raised in Mobile.
Yeah. Been here 43 years.
43, feeling free.
There you go. But yeah, it was there where I met a Miss Carolyn Green.
It's Carolyn
She
Green.
invited me to be in a show at a place known as the MARC,
Okay,
Mobile Association for Retarded Citizens.
okay,
She wanted me to help her teach there. She was teaching art to the mentally
to the
disabled.
teacher.
So I joined the teacher teaching the mentally disabled to paint.
Okay.
Very creative people. Some wonderful paintings.
Man, I bet that was awesome.
Oh, wonderful times. Wonderful
Awesome.
times.
Golly, so tell me about that. So how was that like going from growing up in the art world and then turning yourself into an artist, then being asked to teach your art? Is it hard to teach art? Because
Well-
at the end of the day, you know, art is whatever you kind of create. I was talking with Jasper. He got let go of his art class because his teacher was like, "Hey, man, you're not ever doing the art that we're trying to tell you, but your art is exactly what you're wanting to, and therefore it's art, but it's not the curriculum."
Yeah.
So was it hard to create? Is it hard to teach art, or is it more of a guidance of showing people like, "Hey, this is how to do things. This is how you can learn," and then you go out and mix and match and create what you create?
Well, I would say working with the mentally disabled, it was very different.
Okay.
not so much as hard, but very tiring.
Okay.
No question. There.
Lots of effort.
Yeah. But generally giving those who are willing to try just a little bit of guidance.
That's all you need.
Letting them be their creative selves.
Letting them be.
Yes.
While helping out with a little bit of guidance because they've asked for it. That's so interesting. It's like there are a lot of teachers out there that want to help, but it's hard to help someone who doesn't want to be helped.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
So many people there at MARC, otherwise known as the Fred Delshap Center at the time, they were so willing to just take a little guidance
Yeah.
and go with it. Of course, you were always walking around that room checking on how people were doing. And sometimes somebody needed a little more help.
Or even a little more push. Like, come on, you got it. Stop thinking too much.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get in our head a little bit too much, and it's like, I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that. So it came out. It's awesome. How long were you out there for?
I was there for a few years.
2 years.
Yeah.
And then what happened for you to transform from that situation to even get to where you are right now?
Well, being a part of that group, teaching, also displaying in a couple of other galleries.
Okay.
I guess you could say I
How
got
have
a
you
little
found-
more information and a little more invitations.
Okay, so just being out and putting yourself out there, more people have seen you and it's like, hey, we want you in our gallery and we would love for you to be over here. Is there any gallery, I guess, I don't know how to word it exactly, but is there any galleries that you have not put your stuff into because it wasn't the right fit?
Certainly.
Okay. So how do you find that? How do you choose where you want your art?
Well, there are truly ways of getting into a gallery, but first you have to be approved. I guess you could say my style here is not quite suitable for every gallery.
Okay. And so tell us about your style today. Do you have one certain style today, or are you kind of mixing and matching? I know some galleries are like, hey, man, if you're not producing 50 of these a year, we don't want it. But if you can produce 50 plus, we do want it. Some galleries are like, oh, we only want this type of art compared to this type. So do you keep your saying, is this your aesthetic of art now, or do you do all sorts of stuff with your...
This is my general style.
Okay. So tell us about it.
Mixed media.
This piece right here is called To Close a Broken Shutter. Mixed media.
Yeah. This particular building is still downtown Mobile, but
What is this building?
this
Where is this
was-
street? What street is this?
That is Dolphin Street
Dolphin Street.
of downtown Mobile.
It's the most famous street down here, I think. Jasmine and I have been running up and down Dolphin Street for the past 3 days. Government Street, Dolphin Street, and that's pretty much all I know.
Yeah.
So I see you got so much texture. I don't even know if you guys can see, but it's like, woo, 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 woo. He's got textures over here. I don't know what this is. We got some shine, we got some gloss, we got some matte. Oh my gosh. Tell us about this piece and why did you draw this specific building on Dolphin Street?
Well, this building was called Reds. At the
Reds.
time.
What was Reds?
Something like a convenience store.
Okay.
They just had a little bit of everything at Reds.
Okay.
It has changed its image many times through the years since it was Reds. But,
That's a story within itself, right?
right, I mean, it's a little bit of history in that building there.
A little bit of life.
The
We all grow.
story.
We're all growing and we're all changing and we're all morphing, but we're still here.
Right. But as you noted on the texture and the mixed media there, in this particular one, I used several small shards of glass. And one thing I love to use is that dried paint that I peel from my canvas.
Is that this?
My palette, yes. That dried paint that I peel from my palette, rather than simply peeling it away and throwing it away. Cutting
So
it
when
to the
you
proper
peel it,
shape.
it's still wet underneath.
No,
Or do you glue it?
it's glued to the canvas and then
Wow.
layered over.
Wow. So this is, even all this right here is all just straight from your palette. Dried palette paint.
Yes.
No paste over here, ladies and gents. This is pure paint. Okay.
Layers over.
So you named it To Close a Broken Shutter. Why did you name it to
Well,
Close a Broken Shutter?
As you can see up top, as Reds was at the time, there were several broken shutters up there.
Okay.
And I guess you could say that was more of a question than it was a title, really.
More of a mystery.
Why do you close a broken shutter? I mean, what purpose does that serve?
Why do you
really?
close a broken shutter when it's broken, it's already open?
I mean, really, what purpose does it serve? But many people just
And just a mysterious work of art that inspired you. So you sat there one day. When you said, this is what I want to draw, did you sit in front of the building? Did you sit on the street? Did you just have a memory of what it looks like?
always take a photo.
Oh, you're a photographer as well.
Take a few pictures of downtown Mobile. I take them home, and when I see the image and have an idea, then I paint the picture.
So what does this painting mean to you?
What does that painting mean to me? Well, I guess you could say, just as was said, the mystery in the building.
The mystery of the building.
Yeah.
You like
I mean,
mystery?
There were many stories in that building, but did I know any of them? Of course not.
But you can create your own story with it.
Of course.
So this pole, is it there? Is the light still there? Is the tree still there?
Tree's still there. The lamppost is still there. Going through downtown Mobile, you would see those lampposts up and down both sides of the street.
It's kind of rare to see a cool lamppost like that nowadays. You know, everything's just like the big old highway beamer lights. You know, you're just like, ah. But that's art. Yeah, there's glass right here. And I mean, there's glass. You got glass through here. You got the paint, the glass coming over here, the 3D feel coming out. You know, you got the morphed wall curving, the whole sidewalk going. I mean, it's like we're gonna walk down the road this way. You know, I feel like I'm walking past it as I'm walking there. It's like, oh hey, what's in the window today? You know, you got mystery of darkness of like, hey, you can see what's in the front. And we've always been able to see what's in the front, but the history of the back, of the darkness and the depth, is really unknown. It's all a mystery. Oh my gosh. Well, this is so beautiful, man. This is so beautiful. So you got acrylic paint on here. To me, it also looks like, I may be wrong, do you have some pastel on here?
No,
Just all acrylic. Acrylic, dried paint, glass. What else? What other mediums do you like to work with?
Well, of course, it would take a little bit of glue to hold that glass
A little
down
bit of
so
glue.
that I could paint over the glass.
Man, oh man. This is absolutely beautiful. Do you have any other artworks in this art gallery?
I've got a few here.
Oh, well, let's switch it out and let's talk about one more real quick.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Very
This
well
is
done.
so cool. I'm going to be very gentle. But wow, wow, wow.
About we run around and grab another paint.
Yeah, let's do it.
Should I say the texture on that? A little bit of a story to that one.
Free grits with breakfast.
That is an expression of true Southern hospitality.
True Southern hospitality. Let me hear you. Yeehaw. Oh, man. Okay, so we got free grits with breakfast. To me, it looks like almost a sign.
Exactly.
Boom. The texture
What
is
is it?
wild. Oh, my gosh. It feels rusted and worn and almost like, really, like an old school sign that's been hand painted, layers of paint. It's been hit in the rain. It looks like it's on a metal. That's awesome.
Exactly what it was.
So tell us about this.
Well, there was a time that I would walk down a street called Alexander Avenue.
Okay. What
daily
age?
Basis. It wasn't too many years ago.
Okay,
It's
so
been a little while.
2018.
Yeah, it was an old man on that street. This sign sat at the end of his driveway. He asked me to paint a picture of his porch one day, which wasn't really much. It was more of a doorstep on
Okay.
the side of his house. Taking a picture of that to paint a picture of his porch, he bought that painting, being which, but seeing that sign back there, I really had to wonder. But this guy was a old retired biker. You could still see that.
Motorcycle biker.
Oh yes. You could see the biker in the old man, but he was
Okay.
very old. He was too old to ride a bike.
Yeah.
But I had to ask him about that sign. When he was younger, off gallivanting on his motorcycle, his parents were back home, still taking care of him by running a restaurant here in Mobile.
Okay.
This sign sat out in front of their restaurant. If a person came into that restaurant to buy a cup of coffee, they got a free bowl of grits.
Normally it's
That is true Southern
normally it's
hospitality.
buy some grits, I'll give you a coffee, but not the other way around. Normally it's buy a meal, I'll give you a free cup of coffee that's just watered down beans, black beans. You know, it's like I don't know what this is. So you buy a coffee, get some free grits.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I had actually painted 9 of those, each one with a little bit of a difference, but this is the last one.
This is the last one. Free grits with breakfast. True Southern hospitality. Man. Well,
And so you know, as you mentioned, all the texture there, all that texture actually is rust.
oh, it is rust.
That was
Man.
flaked from a piece of metal.
Guessed it right. That is rust right here. This thing literally looks like a sign. And I would just say it's awesome to even end off this whole little just chat with this piece right here. Because what you've even done right now by giving us time to be able to get to know you is a lot of Southern hospitality. Literally, they just jumped in an Uber. They met me here. I met them here. We both Ubered here to this spot right now. So to get to have the gift of time, I'm not entitled to anything of his. I'm not entitled to his story. I'm not entitled to his life. I'm not entitled to his art. I'm not entitled to his time. And yet he is giving me that. So thank you so much for like doing this for us. It has been awesome. He's a real artist, not just somebody creating cool things that are hyped up. These are art with a story, all the way from starting as a young kid, seeing the ants, realizing, man, I am 101 and I can be this. He's always loved the eye, and I can tell this whole interview he's been looking me deep in the soul because he actually cares about somebody, not just like, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing. He's been looking me deep, and I'm super thankful for that. And you don't get a lot of that in today's society. People are so cautious about talking to people or giving people a hug or opening up because we've all been hurt in some type of way, or we've been judged, or we've all been through it. We judge ourselves. I mean, we're with ourselves every single day, and so we judge our own work. When at the end of the day, God is using us as a paintbrush so that he can create love and art through us. So when we judge ourselves and we judge our art and we judge what it is that we are creating, deep down, we're somehow judging the creator who's using us to create. So we know right from wrong. We don't need to be hanging out in the gray area. And man, when we find inspiration, we need to take hold of it and know that it's there for us. So that has been awesome. Today has been awesome. If there's one thing to end everything off, if there's one thing you can tell the world, what do they need to hear? What do you need to tell the world? A little bit of inspiration.
Say the world, a little bit of inspiration. Well, guess you could say the one thing I would always tell somebody: take the time to breathe, relax, and just let go. So many people feel they don't have the time to just let go. But really, does it take that much time?
Man, just like that, just
Just take a deep breath. Let go.
man, that's so deep because I was telling my twin brother literally last night, he's training for an Ironman. He's been going through it just mentally because it's so much stress of just working. But literally, if we can just take a breath, we don't have to bring any stress from that last breath into the new breath.
Right.
And that's just letting it go. Gosh, dude. Hey, thank you so much. I'm sweating, but can I get a hug, bro? Because this
More than happy.
has been awesome, man. Oh my gosh, right here. True Southern hospitality from the man, Mr. Day, Mr. Ant-Man Daniel. Golly. And if there's a way that they can contact you, is there a way that anybody can contact you to maybe, buy one of your pieces of art? Like, he sold out 49 of his ant pieces. He has 3 left. His originals. Oh, here we go right here. Daniel Day. We're going to put this on right here. Will this zoom in? Tell me when we're good. Ooh. Bada bing, bada boom. One take wonders.
And we've got one more.
Man. Oh. He has one more. We got about 2 minutes, and then we got to go.
Where's that card?
Because the road is calling us.
In Nova Art Store.
Hello. Hello.
Top.
Daniel Day.
I'm not seeing one.
Altered Images, Cityscapes, 251 459 1795. Wow. Mobile, Alabama. What a blessing. Let's see what he has. I'm going to go get it real quick.
And one more.
Oh. And we got one more card. Right here, and this is where we are in Nova Arts, which you saw outside Mobile, Alabama. Shell Road. Well, thank you so much. And let's get a picture.